Well, we've told you what we think about the draft. We had Ben Beacon on, talked about his thoughts on the Timberwolves, D'Angelo Russell. Make sure you go back and see what he said about D. Russell. Is he going to be on the roster or not? Got to go back and see. But up next, we got the Daily Three. That's 3 questions, 3 minutes each. Sam runs the show, so take it away, Sam.
Thank you, Ron. Let's talk about the Twins, a little baseball talk. They played a noon game on Thursday, and they win by the skin of their teeth 1-0. Bullpen comes through at long last, and after an 11-10 slugfest the night before, 1-0 final score. So the Twins salvage a game. They draw back even with the Guardians in the Central. Ron, the series, it was a bizarre series, 3 one-run games, and I think the big takeaway is you should have swept it, so that's disappointing. But it entertained 3 one-run games, and you got 5 more next week. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, so they're no games back. They're both even. But when you look at the win-loss, the Guardians are 5-5-4, and the Twins are 5-4-9. So they're giving the edge right now to the Guardians based off win percentage. Now, of course, it doesn't matter because game's behind. They'll, if they have to have a play or whatever, it's going to come down to the end. But that was the game I talked about. It was key because now you have a 3-game series and then you got to play them 5 more times. So that win there, I hope that gave their bullpen confidence. 2, their bullpen to realize, you know what? If we pitch this way and our bats are alive, we can win all 5 games next time. Like that's the 2 things. If they can get those 2 things to work well together, bullpen works well, bats are alive. That's the sound of music. But that's in the heels if they're alive. But yeah, I think I think the Twins. I'm glad the Twins got one out of that because if they had lost that one and lost all 3, the sky might be falling on Twitter. Like the rest of this weekend, it would be a sky's falling situation because every game after that would start to matter because now you're like, here we go again. It's about to be the meltdown in Minneapolis. The Twins are going to let it go. And then everybody's going to start focusing on the Vikings. Like, all right, let's get ready for training camp because we're not going to the playoff. There's no pennant race coming. Well, they're still in it. Like you said, maybe at the trade deadline, they can find some pitcher that's on a team that is trash, but the pitcher's good, and he can come in and help this bullpen out and be a force down the stretch. But, hey, they got the win. That's all that matters. Gives them confidence going into the rest of this next series.
The Twins play a pretty poor Rockies team at home this weekend. There's a chance to win 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
I've got another NBA draft question for you. Chet Holmgren does not go to the Magic. Banchero goes to the Magic. Chet goes to the Thunder, who are just racking up the draft picks. I think they had 3 first-rounders.
Yep.
How do you think Chet will fit in with the Thunder?
So the Thunder are under a rebuild. I mean, when you look at the Thunder and everybody's talking about how good their draft class is from a young pieces standpoint, I think Chet Holmgren does well because he's on a team full of young guys. So you added Chet Holmgren. Jaden Ivey went to the Pistons. That's good for me. One, Javen Hunter's from Detroit. We're from Detroit, so to see his son go back home. But then you look at the rest of the picks for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They got Dang out of France. So another kid that's going to do well. And then they got Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara. And so they're adding pieces. You added you added a small forward. You added a small forward, which in today's NBA, it doesn't matter. They play the same position. You could put 2 small forwards on the court because of their size and their length. They're giving them a B+ for one guy, which is Jalen Williams. They're giving them an A- for Dang. And then when you go up to Chet Williams, of course, that's going to be an A+. And so when you look at the grades of this team, that's an A. So to get an A in the first round in any draft is key. But again, it doesn't matter till they bounce the ball and they play together. But I think Chet Holmgren, being a young piece to this puzzle, he's going to have the flexibility to come in and be a star. Like they're going to want him to be what he is, which is push the ball up the court where you get the rebound. Start the fast break if you need to. But when you're playing the 4, you're going to stretch the floor. We're gonna play Warriors ball. We're going to stretch the floor out. Chet Holmgren, where he's going to have to work is if there's a pick and switch, he's going to have to work on his defense because that's what the Warriors want to do with guys like that. They want to get Steph Curry or Klay Thompson on one of these bigs. And if Chet can figure it out and be able to cover these guys and be strong enough and quick enough, He becomes a force. That pick does not matter anymore. That's where Pablo Banchero, that's why he went 1. You look at what he does, his explosiveness, his strength is 6'9", his ability to guard anybody on the floor. I mean, I'm not going to say he's LeBron, but he has those characteristics, and I think that's why he jumped Chet. His size, his body was already NBA ready, whereas people were going back to the Kevin Durant with Chet as far as how strong can he be. He's not a guard. Kevin Durant's a guard. Chet's not a guard. And so that's where I think the question marks came in for Chet, but he still went number 2. He'll be just fine.
Props to Chet, and I want to give props too to the number 23 pick, David Roddy, who played for Breck. It's super surreal to watch these guys that I watched play in high school here locally in person in the first round of the NBA draft. That's just crazy cool. So hats off to the Minnesota kids. Last one. This is a pretty meaty topic. We might have to pick it up on Monday. Rumor has it you got people going on KFAN over the weekend talking about the top Vikings receivers of all time. I'm curious maybe where you had Justin Jefferson in that list and what were some of the opinions that you were hearing from people?
So, when you talk about all-time anything, if you go tight ends, Kyle Rudolph stands out, but Steve Jordan is going to be the number 1 tight end right now for the Vikings in history. When you talk about running backs, you got Robert Smith, you got Adrian Peterson. Of course, AP is number 1, Robert Smith, and then Dalvin Cook. Does Dalvin Cook jump Robert Smith already? You can't really say that just yet. Robert Smith was a beast. When you talk about receivers, there's no question in anybody's mind that Randy Moss is number 1. Randy Moss is number 1 in the entire NFL, in my opinion. I know Jerry Rice is up there. I know T.O. is up there. But Randy Moss was he was a super freak for a reason. So Randy Moss would be 1. Chris Carter, just because of the longevity, the playmaking ability, the one-handed catches, the toe tap sideline first downs, the personality. Like Chris Carter's personality was built for being mic'd up. For the simple fact is he would spit facts. Like one dude, I remember we played him too when he was older with the Dolphins, but he was a little bit older playing. I think he was playing the Bears, and people probably heard this audio, and the kid said something about like, "Shut up, old man," and Chris Carter was like, "Oh man, you better get on your knees and pray that you can play at my age." Like it's just like super real. Like it wasn't like a man, shut up. It was, dude, you wish you could be my age. Like, oh man, like, man, come on now. I've been doing this for, you want to be where I'm at. Your biggest comeback is old man. And so, that's where I put him too. Now you got Stephon Diggs, you got Adam Thielen, and then you got Justin Jefferson. You got Ahmad Rashad, of course. That's tough. Like, it's tough because Justin Jefferson's only been doing this for 2 years, but he's got 3,000 yards already. In 10 years, if he stays on this, he's at 14 to 15,000 yards. So he's ahead of those guys. Like, that's where but you still can't say he's better than Moss. I saw a tweet today that somebody, and there's an idiot just trying to get, interactions. Justin Jefferson doesn't run great routes. That's what he said. I can't believe he's a top 3 receiver. He doesn't run great routes. Like, shut up. So I'm going to have to kind of preface it by saying Justin Jefferson is probably neck and neck with Stephon Diggs, like in Vikings history, as far as output. If you do the average, not the total, because the total sum, Stephon Diggs is there, Thielen's there, Jefferson would be below. You look at where Thielen's already at, he should be in the Ring of Honor. You look at the receivers that have gone in the Ring of Honor, and Thielen's already better than them as far as statistics go. I would say Justin Jefferson has got to be in that top 5. He's definitely in the top 5. Where he falls, I mean, I want people like tweet us, comment on YouTube, tell us what you think, but I'm going to say 3 right now. Like, I might sleep on this and come back Monday and be like, nah, he's not 3. But I went on KFan and I said he was 3. That's why people were kind of like, really ahead of Diggs already, ahead of Thielen? What about Sammy White? What about Ahmad Rashad? Like, I looked at all that. But Justin Jefferson, and maybe I'm a creature and I'm captive of the moment. The gritty has taken me by storm. Like, he's definitely the top celebrator. Like Moss Moon, the Moss, whatever that was. The gritty is definitely the Thielen dead arms dance. Like, the gritty is definitely number 1 there. But I gotta say top 3, top 4. Like Thielen, Jefferson, and Diggs, you can argue those 3 can be 3, 4, 5. You can put them all in there in any order. Some people would say Jefferson Diggs, Thielen. Some people would say Thielen, Jefferson, Diggs. Some people say Diggs, Jefferson, Thielen. Only time will tell. I don't know. What do you think, Sam?
I think we got to hold this over to Monday. I mean, this is a 40-minute argument right there. I'm not going to say another word. We're going to do this Monday. We're going to hammer this out, and I'm going to come with a list this long of evidence points on why I think what I think. I'm not going to say what I think.
We'll have to do the quarterbacks too. Then we're gonna have to do the quarterbacks at some point then too.
It's a slow summer. We got time to kill.
In the history of Vikings, is Kirk Cousins #1 already? That could be a good one. Well, that'll do it for the Ron Johnson Show. I want to thank Ben Beacon. Of course, I want to thank Sam Extra, my producer, as he guides the Ron Johnson Show to the end from start to finish. Great job. We want to thank all those that continue to support us on Locked On Sports Minnesota's YouTube channel, Locked On Sports Podcast channel. Wherever you get your podcast, please make sure you download, share, and listen, and take us with you.